Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode 73. We continue on with the Giro, now on stage 11, so we're halfway through. And it's an interesting stage we're heading into. It's punchy. There's not that much in terms of climbing, but what I presume is gravel is going to face us in 5 sections, all in the tail end half of the 163-kilometer stage. And we lead, so controlling the Peloton is going to be largely up to us. And neither of my two guys are good on cobbles at all. According to the top end of the map, where it's yellow, it's not red, so it's not 4-star, 5-star, but it's not green. It's not green either. So if it's not green, then it's probably not all 1 star. It's potentially a couple stars, more difficult gravel sectors. This could be one of the toughest stages of the entire race. Let's go ahead and pick up just before we hit the first gravel sector. So the good news is that Movistar has taken up the chase, and they've committed a lot of riders to it, so that's going to weaken them a little bit later on, and that's good for us. Bad news is it's a 6-minute advantage for the 29 riders in the break, but that's also a little bit good news in that means we don't have to worry about the 10, 6, 4 seconds, as I don't think we're going to be in a great position at the end of this one. I think it's going to be more about survival today. All hands on deck to make sure that at the very least Krantz gets to the finish line as close to the front or with the front group as possible, or main group, Peloton group. 144 in the Peloton today. Now 7-minute advantage. And we are on the verge of hitting the first sector, which, with 72k to go, it is. And let's go ahead and send Izumi back to get that water and have him kind of on his way back forward before we enter that sector. It's all 2-star stuff. It is gravel, but it is 2-star stuff. So 1-star really doesn't do damage. You can really get through it. It barely uses your cobble rating. 2-star, it uses it. It's not significant. It's not massively damaging. But if you have a really bad cobble rating on 2-star, it will impact you. As we get through that first one, we now have 4 to go. The longest one is coming. It's also the climb. So we are going to have to prepare a little bit better than what we're doing right now for that one, as we want to make sure we are holding our position, even if it uses up the domestiques a little bit. This is that key moment. Krantz, by the way, +4. Finally, good race day condition. And Martinez, 0 after 0 after 0, or negative race day condition. Has he had a positive in this race yet? I don't know. He's had a lot of bad draws. I mean, it's only a -1 today, but Krantz is only a +2. So the net between the two of them is a +1. That still doesn't make up for the last stage, or the stage before, with pretty bad string. So we are heading into the gravel now. 2-star, you can see that right away, even on the downhill, we had blinking red there for a moment on an 80 effort. When we hit this climb, I think we might want to push even harder, but let's watch what that tempo is. Movistar not pushing too hard right now. 49k to go.
Our rider has a flat tire. Let's hope he is helped out quickly.
Pace is okay. Pace is okay. In fact, it's not hurting us at all. This was the part that worried me. We're doing just fine. Watching for a tempo change. And there is a hint of a tempo change, but we're not going deep.
The gap is widening.
The 3 domestiques are feeling it a little bit more. But as we go through that sprint point with 46k to go, we are most of the way up this climb. 9%. Okay, still in the gravel, but we are over the top, and with our key guys still in good shape. Peloton yo-yoing, and largely coming back together. Now I'm starting to feel pretty good, because the next 2 sectors are nothing like what we just went through, and our key guys are just fine. And then really only one proper climb left. There is a fifth sector right at the finish line. Not worried about the sprint part though. Not winning it. You know, just making sure you're with your group. 138 in Peloton, 11.5 minutes. $28K to go. Do I want to be aggressive and do something? I don't feel like I want to do that as we are awfully weak. Our two leaders in the cobbles. Third section. Does have some uphill to it.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking.
Catch a breakaway rider there. Now let's increase the effort.
Rider has taken a tumble. Fortunately, nobody went down with him.
As position starts to matter, and they're definitely going deeper.
We've got 15 kilometers to the finish line.
Krantz and Martinez both. You can see how they are going backwards a little bit. This is that concern, right? Martinez, the one that is further back, so we're going to up his effort first. Almost out of this sector.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You've just got to hang on.
And we have survived that. Technically 2 sectors left to go, but they are the 2 shortest ones. All right, and we go to enter the other one with a big upturn in effort level for these guys. Let's hold position. 91 left in the peloton. Big gap to the breakaway, but climb proper. I'd like to be in a strong position, and then that's where we can turn it on.
And they keep on attacking. Anyone that's low on gas definitely won't be able to keep up.
Man for water.
Flat tire.
Presumably the guy who got water last time, first one needing it. But it's too late. I mean, we're inside 10K now. Down to just 53 riders in the peloton. And we're almost out of it. We are out of it. Okay. Okay. 8K to go. Now, Martinez, we just want him to kind of tack onto the back. Then you have Krantz. Then you have Piccioni. For Mark and Azumi look good. Azumi's a stronger climber. For Mark, punchier. And then we have Garzon and Vashek. And Shergai does not have any yellow bar left, so we'll put him onto the back end and let Vashek go. I don't know if Garzon's going to get up here in time to do something. But Vashek takes control. Garzon not yet in position, so let's switch this. Hey, now remember, he is quite punchy. Krantz is where we want him. Garzon is there. Martinez is there. Garzon not really able to get forward, is he? $2K to go to the top, and we are splitting some riders off. But I think Azumi is about to put us in a bit of hurt. So let's drop him back. Martinez fades just a little bit, but that's okay if Krantz gets away. Storer takes the stage. Piccioni, follow for Mark, please. Mark, pace yourself. You're catching breakaway riders, by the way. Azumi is still here. Azumi, follow. There you go. Martinez recovers his position. down to 47 as Vermark is coming up over the top. Garzon, Vashek, let's get these guys all on automatic so they get to the finish line. And I think we could get a big split here behind Azumi in a second. Like, if he does this. I don't know. Does this. There you go. Set him to auto. 3.7K. Piccioni's going to keep pushing. It's just the four of us now. 12 seconds up the road. 2.4K to go. Sprint. Krantz. Sprint.
None of the favorites is giving an inch.
1.6K. Martinez just kind of follow for a little bit longer. And here is the actual cobbles as we go for the finish. More breakaway riders. Krantz, Piccioni. That should be time gaps, especially the way they screwed us on the last mountain stage. That should be time gaps.
We're waiting for the tailenders who continue to
There's 39 riders here. Let's see if they actually give us what we've clearly earned. Total separation there. 10 seconds is 10 seconds. And we do get separation. We do. Krantz, 9:46 down on the breakaway riders. Piccioni, 5 seconds behind. He gains 3 seconds over Champison. And then there's your first group. And that's a small group. Small group. Mostly leaders, though. Mostly contenders. And then an additional roughly 10 seconds to a larger chase group. And this is the new overall standings. Krantz now leads by a half minute over Moss, Buitrago, Van Wilder is at a minute and a half, Garcia at 2, Ucha Brooks, Tiberi, Martinez in 8th. Wasn't he 7th? I suppose he might have been 8th. Rodriguez, Steinhauser, those guys pretty much all on same time, but we're looking at 2 to 3 minutes to most of those contenders. Krantz in a pretty good place, and that was one of those harder stages that we were going to have to navigate, and that actually went pretty dang well. Piccioni back up to 14th. With the undulation we're facing today, you would not think that this is classified as a punchy stage, but it is. And we're about to get into the first categorized climb of the day with 145K left to go. We will get water shortly after we hit the top on that one. But we've got 2 pretty hefty climbs plus a finishing climb that leaves chances for things to happen. I think this is going to be a much more difficult stage than has been predicted. Making my face cam moved. So, upping the effort to a 78 a little bit, so we can keep position on this one. We shouldn't have to get too deep here. With only 11 riders off the front, 2 of those not even with the front 9. It's going to make it a little bit easier on the catching, especially with only 3 minutes. So I would think we're going to see Peloton take the stage today. And I'm going to be interested in that final climb. Overall, as a team, the race day condition today, not great. It's lower than what we've had on most days. But where it counts, it's good. Krantz has a +3. Martinez has a +2. That's a +1 for each of them. Krantz, by the way, is getting close. A few days away from his fitness peak starting. And that's going to be a big boost going forward. And as we are over the top here, and let's get somebody to go get some water. Chirkai has already done it once. Let's go ahead and get Remark to do it. 125K to go also, so good timing for that. 149 still in the Peloton. There are some riders off the back. Chirkai was involved in a crash earlier, and that was kind of why I timed that first round of water, as he had just gotten back in the Peloton. Great. Bunch of sprinters. Wipe out Martinez. Piccioni is here. Vermark, let's hold off on that water. I want you to, like, crawl. Okay, we are up and going. Seemingly 2 minutes behind, but you know that that's not actually the distance. This is the 14th and 8th place overall rider. And none of these other guys matter. They're not GC contenders, so we are the only ones caught out on this one. For Mark, it's going to take him a second to accelerate, but that's okay. There's other guys here. We're already just off the back. For Mark will get us there quite soon. And I don't think we have to go quite as hard. And we're back in contact. So here's how we're going to do this. Piccioni is going to go back to making his way forward. For Mark is going to go ahead and try again on the water. Now at 110k to go, we definitely need the water. We have those two big climbs coming, and Vermark and Piccioni are still in the same place. I haven't seen an announcement, but I thought I just saw a crash. We do see one. Again, sprinters. Sprinters can't descend, apparently. And you can see before we go enter two massive climbs, Martinez is a little bit tired. For Mark, hold position, please. Okay, let's not protect Azumi. We want to protect Piccioni and Martinez. Piccioni is back up here. Martinez is back up here. And let's get those two protected. But Martinez and Piccioni are both going to start the climb a little bit down on energy. And it's a pretty big one. 15 kilometers, 6%. At least it's not our leader, but yeah, we have not had a good experience today in the saddle.
Only a few riders are capable of following the very fast
Zone
pace up
fading.
front.
Let's put a little more effort in here. Martinez, just a tiny bit more yourself. Grant's holding at a 78. He's doing okay. It's Garzone that's really kind of struggling to keep up. He's at least halfway down the peloton right now.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't be
Mark
happy
Gel.
with the breakaway.
Vashek's going to need to gel as well. We're almost halfway up this climb, and we're getting through the steeper bits. It's going to ease off more down to 92, 91. Garzone doesn't need to push as hard anymore. And there goes Vermark. Vermark was protecting Piccioni. That's okay if he's the one left alone. However, Garzone does not need protection from Chergai. Chergai needs to go protect Piccioni. Or ride solo. Reason being, I think I can get them over the top. But if we're protecting, I don't think we're going to be in quite as strong of a position. I want to keep these numbers for the next climb. As more riders drop down to 72. Youngles, Rivera just hanging on at the back end. Hool going down. He's 39th. He was in recent breakaway. Vashek. Pache getting dropped. And Vashek is out the back. Azumi. He's going to come up short too. Maybe. Not much of a chase right
There's
now.
an attack in the leading group. Some riders were not giving it their all and sharing the pace.
Azumi might regain contact. This group is going to lose contact. I mean, it's a dozen riders or more. Put him on auto. The Shergai Piccioni strategy has paid off, but how much recovery are we going to get in for these guys? Just 5 left. Krantz is looking good, but that's about it. Now, Martinez, of course, was kind of in that dangerous scenario.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a
73K.
breakaway, given that the pack has
I want to
increased
get water
its speed.
now. The amount of descending, that might just make it. Shergai is the furthest guy back. Go ahead and get it and get back up there. So just 56 left in the Peloton. Krantz is fully recovered. Garzone is fully recovered, but not at maximum strength. And Martinez has fully recovered, but also a little shy of his maximum. Piccioni has not fully recovered, and Shergai didn't recover very well at all. And is still working on water. We're going to gel up now for him and continue to ride with him. We want to protect Krantz. Garzone, we've got it. Martinez, put in a little more effort. I'm not a fan of your position here. Shergai is running out of steam. Piccioni. Let's drop you back to protect Martinez, and that'll get you water. There you go. Garzone, the only other one. Shergai is going to fade, not finishing his task. Let's go ahead and put him on auto. So we got the key guys water. Here comes the steepest portion of this climb. 15K. We're already down to 48 riders. Garzone, Piccioni. Told you I thought this was going to be a much harder day than they figured. Down to 42. Most of the breakaway is done and dusted as well. Things are easing off for a little bit, but it's going to get steep again here shortly. 6K to go now. Down to 34.
That's a spectacular fall.
Martinez is towards the back end here. Not where we want to be. At an 82, struggling to keep up. Piccioni gets dropped. Say goodbye to 14th place. Garzone is about to get dropped. Krantz is going to make this climb, so Martinez, I want you to follow, not protect. Because I still need you. Be nice if Garzone was still here. Right now there's not much pace. One rider left off the front with a slightly over 1 minute advantage. If we could at least have Garzone for the final climb. I was thinking sprint trade, but if we had enough guys, we just don't have enough guys. We could still do a mini train if Garzone recovers a bit. And now you can see why Martinez I didn't want to use as a domestique here, as Krantz is doing just fine. And Garzone survives and goes back into protection. He did not get his water though. 29 riders here. It's fine, he's going to get used. 25 riders. 4 riders lost contact. And then 1 rider off the front has himself a gap. Now 2 minutes. Garzone recovering quite quickly. It's going to start to flatten out a bit. So the steeper part of the descent is behind us. Nobody crashed. Garzone not fully recovered, but still recovering slightly. does need water. 27k to go, but he's just not in a very good position to go deal with it. We're just going to use him up here early on this climb and lead this chase, lead this attack. 10k climb, 5%. Steepest is in the early phase. The descent and finish is enough to kind of keep it on. I mean, you're looking at 201 and then 212. More than half of that is covered. So maybe 4k once you get flat, and with the recovery you can, you can push on a little bit. So with 11k is a bit much for a 3-man kind of attack. So let's continue this on a little bit longer. Let's wait till we're a few k up, and then we'll go. Martinez and Krantz both have their gels, so that's good. And here is that tempo increase that's making guys go deep.
It's in such percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
So letting the other teams take care of it. Okay, Martinez, just him. We want to gel. Garzone can't really chase right now. That was that first sector. We're into the steepest portion right here. And you're seeing the response. You're seeing the attack. So Garzone, try to... Actually, you know what? Just go. And Martinez. Pretty punchy. Getting ahead of Krantz there. Took a moment. Vlasov is the one on the attack, but remember he is multiple minutes down. So he is not the one we necessarily need to respond to here. Still 5k to go. Like I said, this is the steepest sector. Vlasov's still off the front.
One of the motorcyclists says that a rider is
And now
down.
we have gotten
Apparently, he didn't
forward.
interfere with the race. We've got 15 kilometers
And
to
now
the
we're
finish
going to go
line.
99. Garzone is getting himself water. Now he's just hanging on. 25 riders. 24 riders. Put him back on auto. He's been dropped. Martinez leads us over the steepest sector, so we are not having to worry about whether we're going to get dropped. Buitrago and Vlasov. The hell?
Watch out. A team leader
Where
is
did he come
falling
from?
behind.
12k. Martinez still leading things out. I want Krantz to kind of attack and then Martinez just sit on. So let's do that now while Martinez has just a little bit left still in the tank. And can we ditch some of these guys and bridge that gap up to these two, which are the front? The breakaway is gone. Okay, so now it's a front six. It's front six. Buitrago, Vlasov, Moss, Uttabrooks, and Arnsman. Martinez trying to recover for the descent. But these guys not wanting to work together. Follow Arnsman here. Seriously, Krantz? So the follow failed, and now he's going backwards, but we are able to quickly recover. I would like you to improve your position. That flat, though. Hey,
We're into the last
seriously?
5 kilometers.
Follow Buitrago. There you go. Okay, front six. One rider dropped. Here is Martinez. Martinez, of course. Catch this rider. Okay, now follow that rider. Late for the gel, but we'll see. So front 7, then 4, and then 8, and Martinez is... Are you sprinting? What are you doing? You were catch this rider. Oh, Fisher Black's up there. Don't be the one following the chase. Don't pull those guys closer to this leader, who's now 1.1k. So sprint is on. We're not going to win the stage, but we should have same time with these guys. And it looks like we're going to get third. Mark Donovan's out. Brooks takes the stage. Vlasov takes second. Krantz gets third. And Martinez now sprinting for the finish.
The tail enders are still coming in.
Good outcome today. Not a stage win, but we're not stage win kind of guys. Not this group. But that's going to be really good for that GC. Martinez gets 18th on the stage. Garzon gets 27th. Piccioni 38th. That's his 14th gone. Martinez is going to lose a little bit of time, but I would think he might still be in the top 10. Time gaps in the front group. Brooks gains an additional 8 seconds on his win, on his sprint. We do see Steinhauser and Carr losing time, Fisher Black losing time, Guerrero losing time, and then a minute 18 to chasers. Michael Matthews, I don't know how he was still up there unless he was in the breakaway today. Martinez gets the same time though there, just minute 18 down. Yeah, Piccioni 6:08. Oof, very big time gaps. So the GC Krantz still leads after 12 stages with a fitness peak coming, but the bulk of the mountain stages ahead of us. 13 is going to be a sprint, so we're going to be on to stage 14. I think we also should be due a rest day very, very soon. Moss still second, Buitrago third, but then we have a 2-minute gap now to fourth. Garcia, Brooks, Van Wilder, Vlasov, Steinhauser, Martinez falls to 9th place at 3:47, Carr 3:53, and then from Aaronsman on down, we're looking at 5 minutes plus. I would officially say that from 13th on down, they do not have a chance. So there's 12 riders still in contention for this race. Realistically, you would pick one of the top 3 just based on the timing. However, there's a lot that can happen with 4 or 5 mountain stages and a time trial yet to come. And no, I do not pick us as favorites, even though Krantz has a good mountain rating, even though Krantz has a fitness peak on the way. We don't know what day it's necessarily coming just yet. It seems to be behind where it should be right now. I thought it was going to start around stage 14 or 15, but maybe it's not till 16. And there's some mountain stages before then. Are definitely not guaranteed great race day conditions, and we don't know how much support we're going to have. And with the difficulty level, those other riders have endless amounts of energy, so beating them is rather difficult. And everything has to go right on a daily basis to get there. So there's absolutely nothing guaranteed, but we are obviously in a position right now. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.